Welcome to the Healing League, everybody! So, we are once again taking a look at the Asian meta. Korea, a bit of China, all thrown in here as we're going into our first match. I'm going to tell you a lot more about this event that we have here in just a moment, but before we do that, let's just introduce the players, or at least the lineups here in the first game of this best of 3 series. We're currently in the winner bracket. We have 8 teams. C8 is starting on the left side, and we got them with a Tigers Diablo combo, Malfurion for heals, Blaze on the side lane, so already a very heavy front lineup together with Dibbles and Blaze, and then it's all about protecting Sergeant Hammer here on Infernal Shrines, our first map in this. Whereas over on the right side we got a team 0-0, Maiev Johanna together with Leoric, the front line, so we have a bit of a triple for them, and Hanzo and Brightwing to round out the draft in game number 1. So, because of the problem that of course occurs when you have time differences, in actually this case I couldn't cast the games live, they were played a few hours ago, but I immediately received the replays, and so I'm catching them it's pretty much live, but the problem is obviously I can't present you with the draft here. So what is this? This is the Healing League, and this is a tournament pretty much that is currently being held on the Asian server with Korean and Chinese players. There's around 3,000 euros of prize money attached to this one, and they have 8 teams in total that are participating here right now in a double elimination bracket. So it's a fairly interesting one. There are no real draft limitations, so lately we've had of course a lot of limitations in draft, either full Meta Madness lineups where heroes were pre-banned and heroes could only be played once within the series. To my knowledge, as I was told, there is no limitations in this tournament. So this is just straight up Heroes of the Storm. You can pick and draft whatever you want, just like good old vanilla heroes. But we take another look at the Asian meta here, and this is game number 1 in a best of 3. So when we're talking about the winner bracket and the round of 8, all of those matches are best of 3 matches, and over the next couple of days a lot of that is going to be played out, and obviously I'm going to cover as much as I can. I'm going to try to hit everything and present with you too. And we got a lot of stuff actually going on outside of the Healing League, because I just announced my own tournament. So we are going for Meta Madness 8. And in roughly 2 weeks, we're going to have the first qualifier. You can also, everybody can sign up. So if you're in a team, let's say you play Heroes Lounge, for example, and you're playing in a team and you want to see what you can do there, you can sign up for it as well. We have a $2,000 prize pool for that. And of course, there will be pre-bans and everything. But also kind of noteworthy, as usual, we let the community decide which heroes will be pre-banned. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link into the description of the video if you're catching this on YouTube, and you can vote which hero you don't want to see in Meta Madness. Which hero would you love to be banned, to not even be allowed in the tournament at all? So I'm going to put the poll out there. We're going to close that thing out in a couple of weeks, but right now we have an opportunity to just jump in and ban out some heroes, or at least vote for which ones you would like to get rid of. So that's that, and let's focus a bit on what's going on here. So far we haven't seen a kill yet. This is, as I said, game number 1 in our best of 3. We currently have the boys in blue making their play for the first shaman camp, since the objective is now coming up. So everybody is, oh well, the blue team at least is trying to get those shamans en route. And the red team, Team 0-0, is actually making a pretty interesting choice here. They stole all of the camps at the bottom of the map away, but they haven't actually gone for their shaman camp, so this could become a bit of a problem at the top lane at least. Sergeant Hammer is waiting for level 7. And just generally speaking, when you're looking over to C8, they have the problem that on the first shrine they're honestly not all that strong. Simply because Sergeant Hammer doesn't have mobility yet. Tigers really wants to rely on Pop and Odin at some point. So I can totally see that they might give up the first one, but they're getting good value at the top, and they are already protecting the flank here. As you can see, Maiev is moving in, but they're having none of this. Lots of damage on that fort. Nicely done and executed by the blue team. And they're going to catch that early level 7. And that might change the dynamic on the shrine very quickly. You can already see that they are going in for the kill against Leoric, and the blue team has now taken over the position on the shrine, has pushed 0-0 away. They already, the red team, has 25 stacks, but now that they are about to trail behind with the talent for a couple of seconds, there might be an opportunity. Oh, but Maiev comes in, takes the kill, Hammer is down just as she was about to get her mobility talent, and that's of course a huge issue. But Maiev gets punished a second later. It doesn't change the fact that the red team walks away with the first Punisher, Frozen Punisher for Team 0-0. And off we go. Push through the middle. But as I already highlighted, I personally really expect that the blue team is going to have more of an impact with their plays once we're looking at level 10 abilities. This is going to be quite likely the way that they're currently playing this out. As expected, Hava Siege mode. We also have Bigger They Are, Melting Point. When it comes to builds, there are obviously a couple of things that really are different between the Asian meta and what we're seeing in the West. It's mostly on talents. There's a couple of pick priorities that are also slightly adjusted, but this is still fairly what you would see in on the European side as well. We're going Consume Vitality into the Ghastly Reach. Obviously with Leo, there's multiple builds that you could really focus on. We've seen a lot of Austin's Renewal. We've seen a lot of extra slow on level 4 as well. Or just simply trying to get some extra wave clear with Neil Peasants. So different ways how you can execute that side laner. But for now, it's all about trying to lock in some additional kills for the teams and see if they can maybe snap away some of these mercenary camps, particularly at the bottom half of the map. Sergeant Hammer now starting to get a bit more aggressive at the top. And I have to remind people again, so they did a lot more damage to that fort than the red team was able to pull off with that Punisher. Just keep that in mind here for just a moment, because their initial push really did work for them. Now, again, here comes the pressure. They're starting to move in with a nice jet propulsion, but it is Dykes who becomes quickly the focus of all that damage. Targeted damage against him, and here comes Hanzo. Gets the shot lined up and connected, and that is the end of Tigers. So, kill number 2 for the red team. 0-0 now with level 10 abilities. And we get for Brightwing the blink heal. Sergeant Hammer has used the opportunity to take the fort out at the top lane. Worth it for the red team? Honestly, if you ask me, I would say no. That kill was nice and it allowed them to also steal a camp away, so it's not like they didn't get anything out of it. They're looking at a half-level lead now, but they won't have a talent advantage for the next objective, and losing that top side fort is a problem that will pay dividends as the game continues for the blue team. So they're going to have now increased passive experience, and that's not even talking about the possible pressure at the top lane through, let's say, catapults. Sergeant Hammer still holding that lane, by the way. But as expected, we now get Odin. We have at the same time also Napalm Strike. And yeah, let's see if maybe the red team has a chance to now push through the bottom of the map and take one of those down. One of those forts. They decide, I mean, they haven't even taken their Shaman camp once yet. So I hope that they're lining it up now with the next objective. That should get announced pretty soon. Already we're having the blue team starting. Oh, they actually forced the fight here in the middle. Sergeant Hammer's coming in too. Shrine has been called. It's going to be a topside shrine this time. And that's also unfortunate for Team 0-0, because after they lost the fort, that of course also means that they just lost their fountain. So no top-up opportunities for them. A little bit unfortunate. But as it continues here, we're now getting the camp for both teams at least. Now, the teams are going to be on the same lane as the camps travel through, so that means it's going to be easier to defend those. Brightwing is attempting to get a bit of extra heal down at the bottom of the map for them. And up at the top, Risa currently here on Malfurion. KCB with Diablo, good position for just a moment to try and lock Jojo into a stun at the wall. Couldn't quite get it. Good route though from Reset, and Malfurion is able to really help them here. The disc is out and hits Sergeant Hammer. Diablo with a quick barbecue play and roasting them quite nicely, but couldn't set up a kill for the team. They already have Blaze on the point. And Samira is currently the one who's trying to get the team ahead. And keep in mind that Odin is now available, so the position is already taken. You could try and cut off their path of retreat, and there's still no fountain available anywhere near this fight for Team 0-0, whereas C8 is now starting to push in. Odin used Blaze, still the one to get the damage done on the shrine, and he already has 24 stacks now for the team. Early level 13 though for the red team. Maybe now an opportunity to turn this one around, but it doesn't seem that they're able to do anything about it really. So yeah, Blaze is now getting some company. Red team is trying to capitalize on the level 13 advantage, but it seems really questionable here. It's only 2 minion stacks missing. They're gonna take this one. Entomb comes out, but it's not strong enough. Red team still fighting. The arrow from Hanzo hits home, but it's the red team that's losing hit points rapidly, and now the Mortar Punisher has just now been claimed, which immediately triggers a retreat from 0-0. The red team is on their way back, and this is a chance to go for keep number 1. Now, quick reminder, we're only 10 minutes into this, and looking at the damage numbers, we have 32,000 for Hanzo, we have 26,000 for Tigers, who is ahead of Sergeant Hammer. Hammer has been on the side lane for a long time and is currently excelling in siege damage, more so than anything else. And as they are pushing for the keep, they still got a couple of ults out there, particularly, of course, the Lightning Breath of Diablo, but I don't think that they can really take the keep out. Opening the wall is the only thing they can essentially do. They get a bit of damage connected. Blaze has already moved back down to the bottom of the map, got them some extra experience, and you can see how the scale is slowly starting to tilt in favor of C8. They now have level 14.5. They're a little bit farther ahead here, and they're just a bit more in control. Not really a lot of kills in this game, by the way. Only 3 thus far. So everybody really towing the line here with their plays. But maybe we're going to get a few of them now. Jojo already has to pop the Iron Skin to get out of the fight. It's just really tricky for them to push into Sergeant Hammer now. They have, of course, the blind of Johanna. They have also the disc out there. But especially around these mercenary camps, it gets a bit dicey whenever they're trying to push into that position. And it's not going to get any easier once the level 16 talents are hitting for Sergeant Hammer, so that's going to make things even more annoying. Up at the top, there's also catapults that have to be accounted for. Very likely that tower is now going to fall unless Leo is able to get there in time. But I seriously doubt it at this point. Down at the bottom of the map, we pretty much see what we saw before. They're going again for structures. They're trying to out-rotate the red team a bit, who just snacked themselves another camp, but it doesn't change the fact that this tower topside is now gone, which only leaves the keep on the top lane. And with Leo defending and Brightwing in the middle, Team C8 has now decided that they are going to go for the bottom of the map and try to take that keep down a notch, that fort. And level 16 is, of course, getting closer and closer. So another problem for them. We got the spray and pray over here for Tigers. And Maiev is the entire time just looking to see if she can force something, if she's able to get a good tether off. And you can make quite some annoying plays here. We have a couple of stuns available with the Blessed Shield and Hanzo's Arrow. Brightwing can also move in with a Poly. But the air is getting a bit thinner for the red team now, since level 16 is going to make the life of particularly Johanna, but also Leoric, a lot harder from here on out. So definitely not gonna be too easy for them. But then again, we already have the next talent picked up by the red team too, just in time for the fight. Blaze and Leo are both not available for that battle, so it's a 4 versus 4 that the teams are currently fighting out. Gives us also the Royal Focus, so Leo has now big plays available in team fights, can limit the damage a little bit, slow everybody down here. But I'm honestly worried about the impact that Giant Killer is going to have from the perspective of the blue team. Because if Sergeant Hammer is not going to get pressured by 0-0, then Hammer should be able to do a lot of work, and we'll likely see her take over in the damage department very, very quickly from Hanzo. Blind of Johanna or not, I don't really think that's going to make too much of a difference. Diablo, on the other hand, is a bit low, and they could, with a good Blessed Shield, really take him on now, and that's exactly what they're doing. Blessed Shield and another arrow. The problem is that Maiev dies a moment later. So yes, Diablo is gone, but of course he had those soul stacks readily available, and he's back on the map. Will have to replenish them, but the situation is again much better for the blue team, since they are now running a 5 versus 4 against the opponent's team. Odin already out, so here comes the big plays from Tigers, trying to get the damage in. 45,000 for him. Now they take Leo down, and this is obviously a disaster for Team 0-0 in the first game of this best of 3 in the winner bracket. 3 kills, 2-3, nearly a level lead by now for C8. And that bottom fort, they can kiss that one goodbye. That is just not gonna happen. Arcane Punisher is in, and with that, they're now just simply going to move straight for it. I mean, honestly, this thing is pretty much gone before the Punisher even arrives. It's already down to 40% HP. Punisher is going to, I guess, lose a couple of hit points on this, but this is going to hurt. And in the meantime, Blaze is in the middle of the map, and he's trying to apply additional pressure on the fort here, so the entire outer ring of defense is likely going to be lost to Team 0-0 now, as we have the bottom push continuing. And as expected, you can see it in on the minimap, the mid lane fort gets now destroyed, which allows Blaze to either push for the keep wall or join the rest of the boys at the bottom, which he's likely going to do, and try to take out fort, or keep number 1 in this game. And the gap in experience just widens. With now 3 forts destroyed, no problem there. Blessed Shield had to be thrown out by Jojo just to stay alive on this one. Punisher at least gets defeated, but they lost 2 forts now. They lost the wall at the bot lane, they lost the wall at the top lane. The one in the middle has already taken damage, and the fight doesn't stop here. They're trying to siege up now, and for good reason. Leo about to activate his trade again. There we go, fully orky as Diablo burns him down with a quick lightning breath. Maiev jumps out, so does Brightwing. Everybody retreating away from the keep, and that seals the deal for the first keep of the game. We're 15 minutes in, and this is just looking harder and harder for Team 0-0 to come back. We have C8 nearly hitting level 20. They have half a level left until they get their Storm Talons, and they are applying an enormous amount of pressure now. With Tychus, to be fair, still hitting top damage for the blue team. 70,000 for Hanzo, but they just don't get the kills. Disc missing as Maiev also gets locked down for a moment, and that is the end of her. Staggered deaths on the side of 0-0, and the blue team immediately trying to capitalize on it. Moving in, beautiful stun into a root. Reset was ready for this. They communicated this perfectly, and Hanzo dies as a result. Now a chance to either go... Yeah, they're going for another kill. Leo is again gone. That leaves 2 defenders, and this keep is not looking... Oh, the core is not looking good. The keep's already gone. 7 kills to 3. And this looks like it could be the end of game number 1 in this winner bracket match here at the Healing League. Big damage numbers now. Level 20 is in. That gives us the bob and weave, and we also get the ultra capacitors now. The shield already gone on the core falling quickly here. And well, this is it. Game number 1 goes to C8 in this best of 3 series here at the Healing League in the winner bracket of the tournament. GG.
Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet, so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV.
Game number 2! Team C8 is in the lead, and we are heading to Tomb of the Spider Queen for our second map in this best of 3 here at the Healing League. Johanna this time together with Blaze for the blue team, so Team C8 once again with a really nice front line, particularly for this map. They have Wave Clear, Reset on Lucio to help them with the quick rotations, and then Maiev to force these fights with Sylvanas coming in as one of the main damage dealers for the blue team, whereas on the right side of the map, Team is 0-0. This time trying to be a little bit more aggressive with the Nubarak going for an engage tank, and they are going for a very interesting lineup here. So they only have a single frontline, as you can see, but they're rocking it with 2 supports. They have Whitemane and Rhaegar and 2 damage dealers. So that's not something that we see all this often anymore. Normally you're really relying on 2 melees at the front, sometimes even 3, but in this case they're only playing a single tank and trying to keep them alive with 2 supports, and they're already struggling in the middle a bit since Nubarak became the target very quickly and had to move out here. But I like that we at least have a different approach from the red team, so they're going for something a bit different. But yep, top side. The rotation is currently being made by the blue team. When you're playing on Tomb of the Spider Queen, normally what happens is that you have a solo lane established at the bottom of the map. It seems like Rhaegar is going to be the one to do that for Team 0-0, since they technically don't have an actual side laner. But the blue team is dominating the rotation, or at least has until now, from the middle to the top and back. But this is an interesting one. Something that you don't see all that often on the competitive level. So the doggy has to deal with Blaze, and I can already tell you this is not going to be an easy one for Rhaegar in the slightest. Now it's Tigers that takes over for just a moment, since Rhaegar is helping out on the right side to take that camp. But I think they're going to have a rough time trying to win these lanes. So if that's going to work for them, I'm not so sure. At least I have questions. I really want to see how they're going to try and work this one out, because that bot lane is going to be in real trouble. Blaze is a monster of a side lane, and him going up against Rhaegar here will likely result in this wall being completely taken apart. I just don't see a world in which Rhaegar pushes this back in any... yeah, in any meaningful way. And of course, either Blaze can stay at the bot lane and try and get damage done, or he can join the team in fights like this one here in the middle, whereas Rhaegar still has to do his job down at the bottom. Yeah, nearly a kill against Tigers as a result already, and Rhaegar still isn't here. So they get a max value with that Sylvanas push enhanced by the camp. The entire wall is gone, and Rhaegar has barely been able to clean the bot lane out. With level 4, where in addition now also getting the Master Assassins, are already looking to get that extra attack speed for Odin. And Sylvanas has moved down to the bottom of the map. But I have to ask it again, I mean, even with Rhaegar sniffing this one out, what exactly are they going to do here? He has absolutely no chance of doing anything about it. So now they have the information. Congratulations, but what are you going to do with it? I mean, you either have to beg for a rotation, or you can just be like, yeah, well, okay, then you take it, then I'm just gonna have a look-see. So Rhaegar knows what's going on, but there's nothing really they can do, and therefore we're now seeing Siege Giants for the blue team at the bottom of the map. Top side, it is Maiev that is pushing this out once again. And yeah, so far so good. I mean, of course, here comes the next little play from the blue team as they're pushing again for a Nubarak. They already destroyed some of the walls, and Rhaegar is still doing overtime down here, trying to take these Siege Shines out. Guys, this is pretty much one of the reasons why you need an actual side laner. So, yeah, they lose the entire wall at the bottom of the map. They lost the wall in the middle. Boy, they're losing ground quickly. Oh. Red team, they need kills. If they really want to have a chance here, then they need to force some fights and get some kills in. The problem is they haven't even turned a single gem in, and now a Nubarak dies, taken down by Sylvanas, who is trying to escape here and will be able to get out thanks to Johanna, who slowed everybody else down. And maybe they baited them out a bit too far, because now all of a sudden it seems like Tigers is going to bite the dust. Yep, Tigers is gone. At least they recover the gems, but that is now opening up a turn-in opportunity for C8. They're going to get the first set of Web Weavers, and all of the walls, with the exception of the top lane, have been opened up already. So very likely this is going to hurt, particularly since they're running Sylvanas with this lineup. So a great opportunity here for Team C8 to put themselves firmly into the driver's seat for game number 2. And we already have them in position here in the middle of the map. And Nubarak needs to get out of this one quickly and gets instantly attacked here. The double support is still struggling to keep things alive. And the Rhaegar, of course, is now down at the bottom of the map trying to defend. I mean, look at this. This is never going to work. In 1,000 years, this is never going to work. He has no chance there. It's taking him ages to clear anything, and Blaze is just having a laugh. Blaze is just sitting there like, dude, what are you gonna do? At least they get a kill against Jojo in the middle, but it doesn't change the fact that this bottom 4 doesn't stand a prayer. This thing has no chance. The fort is gone. They have a 1-level lead already. Up at the top, the wall has been destroyed by Maiev, and even the fort is taking damage. And it's not only true about the top fort. In the middle, they nearly take the entire thing down. So... this is dicey. Yeah, this is really rough. And I guess with Sylvanas now pushing in, if they not immediately rotate over and deal with it, then it's going to be 2 forts that they're down. And yes, this is exactly the reality that we're going to look at right now. Oh. Yep. What can you say? Life's tough. Buy a helmet. Anyways, down to the bottom of the map now, we got Rhaegar. I feel so sorry for him. I mean, at this point, he hasn't really been part of any team fight or anything. So in this situation, why didn't you pick a side laner? It's not like he's really contributing any healing to the team. You're looking over there. Look at his healing numbers. There's like nothing here. There's like nothing they can do. White Mane is doubling it. The only one that Rega has been healing consistently is himself, nothing else. So they need team fights where he can really start to keep people alive and where he can make a difference. I'm honestly wondering what they're going to do in level 10. Is he here so that they can get Bloodlust? Is that the plan? But for whom? Just for Tigers? I question a lot of what I'm seeing because we have blinds on the other side. We got a disc, we got stuns, we got a bunker. So are they going to go for Bloodlust? Yes or no? No, they go Ancestral. They go Ancestral. It's all full sustain for them now. And, I mean, I like myself a pocket healer, but... whew. Keep in mind that the red team hasn't turned in a single gem yet. Not one. And the blue team has already delivered another 28 after they had their first set of web viewers. And if you take a look up at the top forward, yeah, this one is not going to make it either. Now, to be absolutely fair here, obviously, we have 8 teams now in this tournament, and some teams we're familiar with, some teams not so much. But there's no denying that C8 is going to be one of the top teams here for sure. Another great kill, and now 40 gems and more have easily been lost. Beautiful attack, nicely executed, and with another 24 that are going to be lost once that they take White Mane out, you can see where this is going. This is an utter disaster for Team 0-0. Little bit more aggression in the middle as they're going for Nubarak. They want another kill here. Don't think they can get him. But this one in particular was just fantastic. As they chase them down with Jojo, just look how many gems they just lost. In total, they lost 70 gems. That is brutal, absolutely brutal. So now another turn-in is happening, and the chances of the red team to ever getting back into this game are slim. What they need is a big teamfight victory. It's literally the only thing that can get them some momentum to maybe get something done here, because everything else has been working against them. We have now another turn-in that will happen one way or another. Up at the top lane, we could see him turn in. He doesn't quite have enough yet. Down at the bottom of the map, yeah, they're getting forced into a fight, but they're probably going to be happy to take. They have level 13 talents. The red team doesn't. This is a Hail Mary. This is a Hail Mary that they're throwing here now. And, well, it is not going to work. Or is it? They're still alive. The sustain is coming in, but they're all low. They're all low. Rega the first one to fall, and then Tigers, White Mane, and Hanzo all get wrecked. Everybody down, and the Web Weavers are touching ground now. So with Nubarak as the only defender, here comes the battle that could take these keeps down. Top lane, Web Weaver is going for the solo YOLO. In the middle, they're pressuring Nubarak, and down at the bottom of the map, they have Sylvanas lined up perfectly to take out those structures. Every single lane is under attack now, and it is looking brutal. C8 came in here as the favorite, for sure, and they are playing the role perfectly. Team 0-0 is in real trouble. They're definitely outclassed here, as you can see, and that first keep is now gone. One keep down. They're trying to force the fight again. You can really tell. They're just going absolutely YOLO at this point. They're saying like, okay, whatever. We need some fights. This is not winnable anymore unless we are going for some miracle plays. And they just can't pull those off. 11 kills to 1. It's a 3-level advantage now for C8. The blue team is in a stellar position here. They're not pushing quite for the core yet. They're only 10 minutes in. Those death timers are not really very high. Catapults are scratching the shield on the core as they're going for another keep in the middle, so they're going to take this one out as well. And, well, there's a level 16 talent. So before the red team locks in level 13, we now have level 16 for the blue team, meaning a double talent advantage for C8 as they're just taking everybody else out again. Yep. That's going to be the end of it. Game number 2 is another victory for C8. Don't think that there's any way to get back into this now, obviously. Everybody's dead. And, well, that's a 2-0 victory. Clean win for C8. They move on to the winner bracket semi-final. And Team 0-0 will drop down into the losers bracket. They, of course, have another chance to make a loser bracket run here. But at least in their first game, they were a bit outclassed by their opponent. So, job well done by C8. Very well-deserved victory by them, and that is game GG.
Thank you everybody for watching the video today. I hope that you enjoyed the show and the commentary. And keep in mind that the spoiler protection that is going to run for the rest of the video is made possible by all the support on patreon.com. So guys, if you want to support my work, if you want to help me start new projects and keep the spoiler protection in place, please consider heading over to patreon.com/Khaldor. There's also a link in the YouTube description, and check that out. Thanks in advance, and see you guys next time with more esports coverage here on Khaldor TV. Have a great day.